welcome to the stage the creator of the Game Awards, Jeff Keighley.
So here we go again, guys. 2026, and it's the Summer Games Fest, and what a show. I thought there was a really excellent show. Lots of surprises, a few things I wasn't expecting, and one in particular title which has been revealed, been hinted at for a while, but when it came up on screen, I was literally jumping around in my chair, and the wife thought I was having a conniption fit. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to go through my favourite reveals of the night. I'm not going to go through every game, just because there were quite a lot. So I'm looking at around 10 or 11 games, and then maybe a few bonus ones at the end. So let's get into it.
It's been 7 years. The oldest house has fallen. Our director, Jessie, well, she's missing.
So back in 2019, we got our hands on Control. This is a action third-person game. You are running around basically with this like modified, almost like supernatural gun. You are the new director of what's known as the Federal Bureau of Control, or the FBC, and the game takes place in what's called the oldest house. This is like a gateway, or maybe like a fence to keep all these supernatural evil entities at bay. It's not got enemies that you would normally see in a game, like just zombies. This game has like a very high creepiness value to it, and it's definitely one of the best parts of the game. The actual action combat is also very good. There's loads of destructibility. Remedy did a really good job with how things break apart. Even like desks, wood, everything fragments. And so you just have a blast, like blowing everything apart and just having a good old time there. And yeah, this game is the sequel. This is a continuation of the story. It seems like Jessie faded and has now disappeared. And you're taking control of her brother. Now, I've not looked into it a great deal. I want to avoid spoilers for myself, but it appears this game is much more melee combat orientated. So, like I said, in the first game, it was mostly ranged attacks and some like special attacks. You could lift things up with telekinesis. So her brother seems to be a bit more focused on melee weapons, and so the tone of the game is also shifted in terms of how you actually fight. But I have to say, some of the things we're seeing in these trailers are just mind-blowing. The imagination these artists and level designers have is just off the chart. And thankfully, we don't have long to wait for it. This is out on September 24th, so dangerously close to GTA 6 for these guys. But yeah, this title is definitely one to watch. And if you've not heard of the original game, it's actually on Steam at the moment on sale. I think it's £3.40 or something like that. An absolute steal. So if you haven't played it already, go and get it now while it's on sale. So this one really caught my attention. It's a sequel to a game called Stellar Blade, and in this one we have a new protagonist. This is called Stellar Blade Bloodbrain, and it seems to be taking what made the first game really successful, like over-the-top combat, amazing visuals, hyper-detailed graphics, and taking it to the next level for this sequel. It looks amazing. We start off, we open up with the new protagonist walking through this like cyberpunk situation, and then things kick off and we get treated to a really amazing combat sequence. Now, how that translates to the actual gameplay, I'm not exactly sure. Sometimes these things are a bit over-egged to make them look even more impressive. But based on how the first game was received and the ratings for it, I think we can trust this developer to do a good job and be kind of like authentic about what we're actually going to get. I have to say, the face of the protagonist, she looks like she's 12 years old, and to see a protagonist's face attached to a body that's then getting the typical gratuitous arse and crotch shots as she's running around doing these action sequences, I found a bit uncomfortable personally, and I've heard a few more people say that. But the combat itself and how the game looks, apart from that, I think it looks amazing. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, definitely one to watch.
People are endlessly disappointing. They're greedy. They're cruel. They lie. They're bullies.
Hey, Stokes? Yeah, I'll go one of them.
So that's what I say when I look at someone like you. Bully.
So in the game Crossfire, we have two main protagonists who are on opposing sides, and they're thrown together in this situation where they kind of have to rely on each other to survive. That's the general setup for it. There seems to be some space elements to it. So you're in space at one point being sucked into a vacuum. Then there's obviously some type of alien or biological threat that's happening. And the thing that stood out to me more than anything was the actual gameplay. So the developers came on stage after the reveal and they were talking about their new adaptive cover. Now I've seen people try this before where basically what happens is your character will align themselves with the cover organically, and this is then based on any threats, so they will like move up and down trying to keep themselves hidden. It's a really cool idea, and if they can pull it off, it'll look and play amazing. The visuals are also very, very high caliber, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. The acting looks decent as well, so all of it should come together to make a really decent game. So yeah, one to watch.
Either we fight those things together or die alone.
So they say that true horror is about losing control, is about being in a situation where something means to harm you and having no way to fight back. Now, we've all played games where we've got big guns and big rocket launchers and we can fire things back at our enemies and kill them. But the really scary ones, I think anyway, are the ones where you can't fight back, where the only choice is to either hide or run. And I think that is one element that the game Alien Isolation really nailed back when it came out. And I have to say, it's one of the games that was also criminally underrated by IGN. They gave this game a 4 out of 10. And that, I think it was that point in time I actually stopped reading IGN or giving them any time really, including Ryan McCaffrey, who was the one who reviewed it. But my grievances aside, we are now getting a sequel to Alien Isolation. Now, it seems like they're taking the game out of the vacuum of space and taking us onto a colony, which is an interesting idea because obviously in space you can't escape. You're trapped in these pockets of air. And so it'll be interesting to see how they use a colony as a space where you are, trapped or isolated, and how that's all going to work. I'm hoping that the outside of the complex is hostile in terms of you can't breathe properly or there's something out there that's going to get you. And so you're kind of like feeling like you're trapped inside. I think they have to maintain those like wire fence borders to keep this really tense. But yeah, there's no release date as of yet, but definitely one to watch. I think we'll probably see this around 2027. That's my feeling for it anyway. So yeah, keep an eye out. To say that I am an MMO fan is a bit of an understatement. I've been playing MMOs ever since they were a thing, and I just love the genre. And it's been such a shame recently to see the genre go into like a stagnation. We've seen lots of games like Ashes of Creation flounder and fail, and lots of other projects being canned before they even see the light of day. So a couple of months ago, I went back to Guild Wars 2. It was a real cathartic kind of thing I needed to do, because it proves to me that MMOs still have that amazing feeling where you're playing with other people and you can see what other people are doing in the environment. And yeah, Guild Wars 2 has been a bastion for the genre, because ArenaNet have really kept the faith and like stayed the course in terms of keeping their game going and looking after the community. And it works both ways because the community love ArenaNet and they love what they're doing. So when I heard about Guild Wars 3 being in production, you kind of like think, okay, maybe not. And to see it come up on screen, Guild Wars 3 in the reveal was just, yeah, an absolutely amazing moment. We now know we're getting Guild Wars 3. And now Colin Johansson has actually come out with another video and confirmed they're actually going to support the first Guild Wars Remastered, and was it Reforged? I think it's Reforged. And then they're also going to support Guild Wars 2 almost indefinitely, as well as Guild Wars 3. This is an incredible moment for the MMO genre and for Arena as well. They really have shown what you can do with an MMO. And I'm hoping this will give the other developers in the world who want to do an MMO the confidence to, like do the work and invest the time in an MMO, because they can be these just amazing gameplay experiences of community and coming together, and you just don't get them in any other genre. But yeah, I'll do more on Guild Wars 3, obviously, as we get more information. I might even do a separate video anyway, because it's just such a big game for me. But yeah, Guild Wars 3, we're definitely getting it, so very happy about that.
You yearn for horizons unexplored, for fellowship and purpose, for a cause worth dying for. To you, we can promise magic.
So if somebody told you that you had a lot of ex-Witcher 3 developers and they were making a vampire game in which you can do pretty much anything, kill any NPC, any of the main characters, you can even fail the main quest, and the game just carries on chugging away and like rolling with it. Add amazing graphics, add a really interesting combat system, and yeah, this is basically what we're getting with Blood of the Dawnwalker. So, as far as I can see, the basic idea is your family are taken away and you are turned into this half vampire. So, in the daytime, you effectively are a normal human being with normal skills, but then at nighttime, you turn into this beast of the night. You've got vampiric powers, you can climb walls, you've got special vision, you've got more attacks, you've got claws and fangs, and you need to drink blood. So, kind of like a Blade situation where you've got the best and the worst of both worlds. I think this trailer was interesting because it's actually depicted in the modern day. So we may be hopping around in different time periods, which will add another wrinkle to the already complicated and impressive looking game. So the best news is we don't have long to wait for this one. The 3rd of September for the release. So yeah, not long at all. Can't wait to get my teeth stuck into this one.
What the hell? You don't give up easy, eh? Well, neither do I.
So unfortunately you can't play every game, or I'd like to, but there's just not enough hours in the day. And I did miss the original Last Guardian and Shadow of the Colossus. But thankfully, a couple of years ago, I got a chance to sit down and play both these incredible games. And I could see why people were so enamored with the games and the way the creator, the developer, created bonds between you and the creature. And also the feeling of immense size and just feeling dwarfed in the Last Guardian and also the Shadow of the Colossus. So it's been a rumour now for a while that the developer has been working on a new game, and the project's name was codenamed Project Robot. And last night we got the unveil and the official title, which is Gen Atlas. And this looks like a very similar idea in terms of you wake up as a small protagonist and you are roaming the land and you are interacting with these massive, great big robots. That seems to be the general idea. And it looks almost like a cross between, say, Robot Jocks, that's like from my era, or the more recent one, Pacific Rim, where you've got these massive robots all like facing off against each other. There does seem to be quite a lot of combat, but I would also expect some more emotional, kind of like poignant moments to be filtered in with whatever, action sequences there are. So So this game was unveiled last night, and it's called 1666 Amsterdam. And it seems to be based on something to do with witchcraft or the occult. And there's obviously a lot of cats running around. So yeah, the whole witch thing is definitely something that they seem to be going for. And yeah, just lots of different ideas, lots of different horror elements all coming together. The combat looks very interesting. There's some hints that the traversal is also going to be very witch based, like you floating around. You've got something to do with like a broom. I don't really know exactly what I'm watching, but I know that I find it interesting, and I know that it looks like it could be a good game. So yeah. Also worth mentioning that the developer has released the prologue onto Steam for us all to play right now. I've downloaded it. I've not actually played it yet. I've not had a chance because I'm making this video, but yeah, once I've actually tried it, I might do a small video based on my experience. Definitely one to keep your eye on.
Every choice, every breath has led me to this moment. As the moon bears witness, I take the first step. My time has come. I am ready.
I think the developers might have been watching a bit too much Dune with this one, but yeah, I wanted to mention this one quickly because it looks really interesting. We don't know a great deal about it. What we do know is that it will be 1 to 4 players, and each player will have their own procedural progression. So it looks like whatever you do is kind of separate to what other players are doing, but it all comes together in this cooperative arena. But the visuals are obviously something we've not seen before, and it seems to be like a general idea of players in this environment. This massive structure has appeared, and you're being sent in to kind of investigate what it is, or what its intent is. And yeah, it looks really interesting. As you can see by the visuals, they are very top notch. Like they really are going for next gen graphics. And this could be something really special, but like again, we don't really know a great deal about it, so it's going to be one of those you have to keep an eye on it. But yeah, I just wanted to mention it because it really did catch my attention. It's now been 10 years since XCOM 2, my favourite game of all time, released on PC, and every year I hope that we're going to hear something about a new XCOM game, and every year we don't hear anything, and I kind of sulk for a couple of months. Jake Solomon, you bastard, for putting your own career first before XCOM 3. But yeah, we don't have one yet, and so games like this are kind of like a second best. Here we have basically, if you imagine XCOM with Star Wars, that seems to be the general idea. So a turn-based strategy game. Squads going in, making choices, choosing your armaments and your crew before you go in, and yeah, it looks like a decent game. I mean, EA are involved, so always be wary of that one. But I don't know a great deal about the developer, but it does seem like the game has got some decent chops, so we'll see what they do. But in actual fact, the developer is actually made up of some XCOM developers, so yeah, definitely looking up. I've always had a bit of a funny relationship with Final Fantasy. I haven't played all the games, but I did play one of the games back in the day on my original PlayStation. For whatever reason, Final Fantasy VII ended up in my collection, and I installed it one day. Not installed it. You don't install games but then. I put it in the disk drive and booted it up. And I just got completely obsessed with it and loved every second. And so in recent times, when they've remade Final Fantasy VII, I thought I'd be straight in there, but I wasn't. I bought it on my PS5, and it's sat there ever since. Now, I know there's been a sequel, was it 2 years ago? They brought out the sequel, and so that's the second game in the series. And then, obviously, now we're getting the third and final installment unveiled at the game show. At some point I'm going to sit down and play all of the first two games and then get ready for this one. So I might do a review because I believe both games are on PC now, so definitely in my remit. This looks great. This looks like they've taken all the lessons they've learned from the first two games and applied them. The second game I think got a bit of criticism for being a bit chunky, having too many like overly sized systems. So this one looks a bit more streamlined, and also they've got the submarine and the airship in this one. I like the idea that you can just like jump out wherever you are and land on the ground. I think they've done that really well, and it gives players a bit more freedom than in other games of this genre. So yeah, this looks really good. The graphics are obviously amazing, as you know Final Fantasy games usually are, and I'm looking forward to starting my journey with this one. And I promise I'll do a review for this when I get a chance. Obviously, the game's been out for a while now, but it's my own review, which I like to do. So yeah, looking forward to this one. So yeah, that was the main event. That was the final game unveiled. I was kind of hoping for Wolfenstein 3 personally. I really want to hear some more about that game, but I know it's in development, so just gonna have to be patient. But yeah, there are a few other games I did see. There is one called End of Abyss, and it looks really interesting, like an isometric top-down view, loads of weird creatures, and then I saw it's an Epic exclusive. Now I know Epic have published it, so that's their right, but Tim Sweeney, come on, keep sending these amazing games to go and die on your system. Just put them on Steam for Christ's sake. But yeah, it did look interesting, so we'll see about that one. We also got news about a Code Veronica remake. Now, a lot of people were really excited about this. I personally never played it, and I kind of lost touch with the Resident Evil series around the second game. I have played a few of the more modern ones. Resident Evil 7 was amazing, but I do actually own them all now on PC. So at some point, one of my projects is to go back and play all of the games and like do a retro review for all of them. So we will see how that goes. But yeah, this obviously massive fan service. This was a big game for a lot of people, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do.
Claire Redfield.
So for those of you who know what Asmolag is, you will know what this game is. This is the sequel to Aeon, a game I played a hell of a lot, and I absolutely loved it. I had a great community, made a lot of friends, lost contact with quite a lot of them actually now. But if anyone is out there who can hear my voice, hi guys, hope you're all well. We had a great time. It's basically a game where you will go in as one of the two factions, and you could actually play in your own area fine, but then you could actually invade the enemy faction, which felt really good because you had other players running around, and suddenly you had these enemy factions like in your area, and it was like get in, kill a few, get out. And then we also had these massive like flying battles where the screen would actually visibly lag as the enemy faction approached you, Asmo lag. So yeah, I'm interested to see how this goes. I heard a few people say it might be a mobile focused game, but then more recent reports have said it might be more of a PC focused game that still plays on mobile obviously. But yeah, I will definitely keep an eye on Aeon 2, just for the simple fact I've got a massive amount of nostalgia for the first game, and if it turns out to be a decent effort, I will jump in and give it a go. So last but most certainly not least, we have Grounded 2. Now this is the next update for this early access game. This is a sequel to obviously Grounded, the first game, and in many ways it's very similar to the first game, but obviously they're improving the technology, the graphics have taken a step up, and they are introducing new gameplay mechanics like mounts and things like that. I have actually played this in early access, and it's really, really good. The first game was fantastic, and so I'm expecting a very similar development cycle for this. They'll add a new biome or a new area with new themes, and it looks like we're getting the first underwater themed area in the next update. So yeah, really looking forward to the next update. I will do a video on that when it comes out. But for now, it's on early access on Steam, so if you can't wait for the full game, then you can jump in now. So there we go, guys. That's my list of games from the Summer Game Fest 2026 that I think you should check out. Obviously, there are other games, and if people have different preferences or different likes, then obviously those games will stand out to them. But for me personally, those were the best highlights. I'm really looking forward to this year. It's turned out to be a fantastic year. We've got games like Crimson Desert, we've got GTA 6 coming out at the end of the year, which obviously everyone's looking forward to. Well, I think most people are. And yeah, it's just looking to be a really, really good year for gaming. I think Jeff did a really good job this year. Obviously, the guy's very passionate about gaming, and I'm glad he does what he does. I know he gets some criticism for the way he handles things, and possibly the way he implements promotions and promoting different things. But I think I'm glad that he's there, and I'm glad he's doing what he's doing. I think he genuinely has his heart in the right place in terms of games. So yeah, a great show and loads of games unveiled, and yeah, lots to look forward to. In terms of my next video, I'm actually considering going back and doing a retro review for Arkham Knight. After playing the Lego Batman game, it really got me interested in going back. I think Arkham Knight is my favourite out of the entire Arkham series. So yeah, look forward to that. And then we've also got the Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced coming out in July. I'm definitely going to play that and review it. That is one of my favourite old school Assassin's Creed games, and if you know me, you'll know that Assassin's Creed is one of my guilty pleasures. So yeah, that was one of the last games of the old school, so looking forward to reviewing that. And there we go, guys. That's the end of my video. Thanks for sticking there to the end if you did. I would love a like and a subscription if you can, but also leave a comment. Let me know if any games really surprised you, or if any games appeared that you thought might do. Anyway, hope you're all well, and I'll see you all soon. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.